Thanks for your interest in graphic novels. As your students have undoubtedly already showed you, if you want to encourage a love of reading and increase reading engagement, graphic novels are the way to go. But maybe you're here because you have some doubts about the validity of graphic novels as educational text, or maybe some of the parents of the students in your room have expressed concern that their child only reads graphic novels. Whatever the reason, I'm glad you're here. This presentation will bust some of the myths about graphic novels in the classroom and help you think about places to bring them into your instruction. Graphic literature is not a new idea. Many of us grew up reading and loving graphic literature. Think Archie Comics, Garfield, Sunday Comics, The Far Side. Graphic novels are growing in popularity exponentially. 25% of all text published in Japan is manga. Sales of comics and graphic novels in the United States and Canada hit an all-time high in 2018, totaling more than $1 billion in sales. This number has continued to grow. Raina Telgemeier's much-anticipated Guts shot to number 1 in its first week on sale on the USA Today's best-selling list. In 2005, Scholastic's Graphics became the first publisher dedicated to just graphic novels. It now churns out popular series like Bone, Amulet, The Babysitter's Club, which will become a Netflix show. One misconception about graphic novels is that their content isn't appropriate. Yes, some graphic novels do have inappropriate content, so we have to be careful. But just like we monitor and select movies, books, articles that we bring into our classroom, so too must we carefully select graphic novels. One strategy is to rely on the rating system that sub-publishers present, like E for Everyone or M for Mature. Some books might be labeled explicit content. Another strategy is to use publishers that you know and trust, like Graphics from Scholastic, a place called First Second Books that has some books for K through 12, and Toon Books. Toon Books has a leveling system for K through 3 readers. Another misconception about graphic novels is that they don't prepare students to read for the real world. They don't prepare them for the real world, where the reality is quite the contrary. We are all exposed to graphic literature on a regular basis, from magazine ads to infographics to web pages. These sources are embedded with both rich text and images. By teaching students to read graphic novels, we're preparing them for real-life exposure to graphic text. Graphic novel readers must synthesize on every page, taking images, text, and their background knowledge to make meaning of the page. By reading graphic novels, students sharpen this important complex skill that essentially teaches them that bringing their background knowledge to a text matters. Graphic novel readers decipher a story with not just words, but also the plot captured in the images. That's a skill becoming more important in a world where we distill both words and images on our smartphones and other screens. Another misconception about graphic novels is that they're easy books. However, these books can be quite complex. Graphic novels, like nonfiction, can be hard to level. The complexity is measured in multiple ways, like the vocabulary, the content, the number of panels on a page, the order the panels have to be read, the theme of the text. As shown in the pictures here, a text called Grumpy Cloud and Persepolis are vastly different in complexity. Students can grow up with and not out of graphic novels. According to Shanna Frazen, a senior staff developer at the Teachers College, it's not that comics are lacking in sophistication, it's that we teachers are lacking in the practice of seeing the complexity of these texts. Many who turn their noses up to these rich texts do so simply because they haven't read any themselves. Another misconception about graphic novels is that they aren't real books. Looking at the fun, colorful cover of a graphic novel, you might think that it covers a breezy topic, but many cover deep, important topics, like Guts by Raina Telgemeier, which tackles the concept of mental health. Many others address social issues and heavy topics like the Holocaust, wars, and immigration. Skills like synthesis, as mentioned before, are required as well as lots of inference, like between panels, for instance. Images, just like text, can be interpreted in many ways and can bring nuances to the meaning of the story. Some may crinkle their noses at graphic novels because of the word novel, as if we're comparing these books to Moby Dick or The Tale of Despereaux. We have to look at a graphic novel differently. Comparing graphic novels to prose novels is like comparing the opera to a ballet. Is the ballet less worthy than the opera because there are no words? Likewise, graphic novels can't be compared to prose novels. They may contain similar stories or ideas, but these are conveyed in different mediums. Graphic novels have their own unique style, combining visual text with written language. Pictures are no less powerful than words, and words no more powerful than pictures. They each tell us a story, but the two together, and you have a sort of magic that attracts even the most resistant reader. Research shows that students who read graphic novels read more in general and are motivated to read more and more likely to become lifelong lovers of literature. Our intentions are good when we say we want students to read real books. We want students to be readers and to love literature. But the outcome isn't that. Telling students that the type of book they love isn't real does the opposite of our intention. It demotivates and discourages readers. If you're looking to add graphic novels to your class or in your instruction, I'm sure your librarian will have lots of suggestions. I'm also happy to help as well. These are two books that are available in series that are graphic novels for our youngest readers, the My First Comics series and the Owly series. For students in grades 2 through 5, you're probably already familiar with Raina Telgemeier and the Babysitter's Club, and if your students love those, they'll also love the book Twins and the Akasi series, which tells the tale of a girl who grows up on the Ivory Coast of Africa. For students in grades 6 through 8, they might like the story This Is Our Pact, which is a mystery adventure story that'll appeal to readers who love the Amulet series. Or if you know Jerry Craft's book The New Kid, this class act is by the same author, and it's a companion book to New Kid. Hot Comb is a poignant glimpse into Black women's lives and the coming-of-age stories as seen across a crowded, ammonia-scented hair salon while ladies gossip and bond over the burn. There are tons of nonfiction books that might go with your social studies curriculum, for instance, March by John Lewis or George Takei's memoir about Japanese internment camps. If you're looking for ways to add graphic novels into your classroom and your instruction, consider adding graphic novels to your classroom library. Graphic novels are a structure, not a genre, so they can be fiction, nonfiction, mystery, realistic fiction, fantasy, historical fiction. Add graphic novels to your classroom library based on their genre, not just in a graphic novel bin. Look for places in your curriculum where graphic novels can be woven in. Graphic novels are available for science content, social studies content. There are many graphic novel versions of the classic novels you might be already reading with your students. For instance, there are many novels available like Speak, Romeo and Juliet, To Kill a Mockingbird, The Giver. Students can read the graphic novel version alongside the prose version or afterwards for cross-text comparison. There's even a graphic novel adaptation of Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species. Think about how to weave graphic novels into your writing class. You can use graphic novels as mentor text to have students notice craft moves, such as the use of panels to separate space and time, different speech bubbles, symbols to represent emotions. They can sketch a scene from a writing piece. And the best suggestion I have is to read a graphic novel of your own this year to become familiar with the complexity, and the graphic novel vocabulary. You can find graphic novels online on Epic, and there are some virtual libraries put together by teachers. Email me if you're interested in those. I can send you some links and help you find some. If you're interested in reading more on your own about graphic novels, here's a few suggestions for some articles. I'd be happy to send you the link, so just reach out. And then lastly, if you have any questions or you want to chat about any of these ideas or want to collaborate together to implement them in your classroom, I'd be happy to help with that. Happy reading.